Hello everybody and welcome to Forever Box. For an interesting video today, we're going to be talking about the top 5 greatest Springbok captains, and very interested to see if anybody disagrees with the list, for example, how they would change it, and if there are any candidates that have been left off that they would probably include. And there's a lot of great players who have captained the Springboks, for example. But in terms of sort of the greatest captains, we're looking at players who made a massive difference, players who led the team to trophies, to World Cups, back-to-back World Cups, and players who have sort of left quite a long, enduring legacy during their time as captain. Before we get into the list, please do smash a like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel as well. Lots of these kind of videos coming up, so let me know any other sort of lists or any other sort of content Springbok related you would like to see. Always up for suggestions down in the comments below. We're going to start from number 5 and work our way up to number 1. And in 5th place, I've actually gone with Jean de Villiers. He might not be sort of remembered as a major sort of Springbok captain, and a lot of that's because of the World Cup sort of situations where he got injured, obviously, in the build-up to that Rugby World Cup in 2015. You know, had he played, it could have been a different story, for example. I don't know if he would have made that much of a difference, but it was such a close World Cup, but we did come third, and I feel he was kind of robbed of that as a captain. But he actually captained the side 37 times. He had a 65% win percentage. During that time with Heineken May, he was sort of Mr. Reliability, and yeah, I think that he's someone who should have played a few more games due to injury. He had a great career anyway, but it would have been interesting to see what he could have done as a captain with sort of more opportunity. In number 4, I have gone with some people who think of him as one of the greatest Springbok captains, if not the greatest, and that is Gary Teichmann, who took over from Francois Pienaar and was captain of the Springboks during the most successful period the Springboks have ever had with regards to games being won, for example. On this list, he's got the highest win percentage. 72% of the games he captained, he actually won. This includes that incredible 17-match consecutive winning streak that they had during his time as captain. And you know, the biggest sort of thing when it comes to Gary Teichmann is that he was given the captaincy after just 6 tests. You know, he was given it very new in his Springbok career, and he went on to sort of revolutionize what it meant to be a Springbok captain. And obviously that whole controversy, you know, with Nick White dropping him for the World Cup is an interesting one, because that is in many ways, you know, what people believe is one of the reasons that we potentially didn't win. That was one of the worst things that could possibly have happened. The team kind of fell apart a little bit. It eventually sort of actually led to Nick Mandela resigning, and he has spoken retrospectively about the fact that it was a big mistake to drop him. And whilst he admitted that his form had dropped, you know, I think he didn't maybe acknowledge the role he played as a leader. And that's a very interesting one. We talk about some of the other guys on this list in terms of when their form has potentially sometimes not always been at the best, but their presence as a person, as a leader, and in the changing room is so paramount to success. Number 3, I've gone with Francois Pienaar. I mean, it doesn't get much more iconic, does it, than the video and the photo of him receiving the Webb Ellis Cup from Nelson Mandela in the 1995 World Cup, the first ever Springbok World Cup winning captain, one of the most iconic figures in Springbok history, and you almost quite tempted to put him in sort of the top 2. But at the end of the day, he captained the 29 games, and he won 65% of them, which is quite a common number, by the way, in this list. What a great servant to SA Rugby. And second place, I've then gone with John Smit. Now, we speak about players who, as a person, as a captain, was so big for the team. I mean, sometimes I think John Smith's playing ability is overlooked, but we often remember him for the latter stages of his career when Bismarck du Plessis was coming through as the world's best hooker, basically, when he had to then move into tight head prop, and he did so willingly. You know, for him, it was all about team first, and I think that sort of mentality is something that we're not seeing really at the moment, where it's whatever can do for the team. Now, he captained the Boks on 54 occasions. He's won a World Cup. He won the British and Irish Lions Series. He won 2 Tri-Nations. He is the most decorated Springbok captain in terms of the number of games. For example, he's captain, so maybe not the right phrasing, but he's captained the Boks on more occasions than any other. Siya Kolisi, I expect, will overtake him, but what a personality, and very different type of captain from what we've sort of seen. You know, quite softly spoken at times, had a very good rapport with the refs, was a very good person, very diplomatic, and a bit sort of different to some of the other characters. When it comes to number one, you can't look further than Siya Kolisi, 2 times Rugby World Cup champion, 2 times Rugby Championship champion, and a British and Irish Lions series. He's captained the side, I think, on about 49 games now. I think it should be about the 50th game this weekend if he does captain the box on Sunday against Scotland. The greatest story in rugby, isn't it? A boy from Zwede going up to captaining the Springboks for not just 1 but 2 Rugby World Cups. And he's a player who, he becomes a different player when he puts the Springbok jersey on. I don't think anybody has ever bled the green and gold of the jersey more than Siya Kolisi in terms of what it means to play for the Springboks. And, there's been times where he's not been playing his best rugby, especially at club level, and there's been conversations about, does he deserve to be there? And he puts on a Bok jersey and then he'll just pull out a performance, for the ages. It's interesting because he's not a captain that plays 80 minutes. He's a captain that empties the tank and at 55 minutes, 60 minutes, he's off. But the personality in the change room, what he gets out of the players, the way he trusts other players around him, he's not an ego. He's very much aligned with Rassie Erasmus in terms of leaving the ego at the door. I mean, there's an argument that I think you could make him and Richie McCaw probably the 2 greatest rugby captains of all time. And I personally would have no issue with saying Siya Kolisi is the greatest rugby captain of all time. Off the field, on the field, in the change room, in the press conference, the humility, the way he carries himself, the way that he's so prepared to talk about the fact that he's so far from perfect, that he's not, your shiny, amazing example of done everything right. But, that humility, that willingness to acknowledge his mistakes is what makes him such a special captain. So that's my list. Where would you guys change? Who would you add? I mean, Victor Batfield captained on plenty of occasion. Recently we've seen the likes of Bongi Manambi, Evan Etzebeth, Pierre Steph, the Toy. Some of those players are some of the greatest Springboks to have captained this side. But there's a difference between a great Springbok that has captained and a great Springbok captain. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel as well. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Steve, and I'll chat to you all soon.